without evidence, and they still continue to do it. Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews, everyone. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. So, Rings of Power actors and actresses continue to attack Tolkien fans as racist. This comes from John Trent at Bounding Into Comics. Shout out to you, buddy. So let's get into it. Multiple Rings of Power actors continued to attack fans of creator JRR Tolkien as his works as racist, as their show was exposed to audience as being a black hole of creativity. Ismael Cruz Cordova, who played Arondir, Sophia Nomvede, who played Princess Disa, and Cynthia Adai Robinson, great actress, but kind of stupid in this case, played Queen Regent Muriel, spoke with Variety's Nick Vivarelli before they were asked about a supposed racist backlash to the casting. Cordova responded saying, "The fact that the attention was shifted toward the shows shows you what the power of shows like this is. The fact that it hit that nerve and that our being in it created such a response just brings attention to the greatness of fantasy. The greatness of Lord of the Rings." Well, your show wasn't Lord of the Rings, so. "And why it's actually good that we're here. You were never in a Lord of the Rings product. I'm sorry, Ishmael. If you don't like that, that's just too goddamn bad. You did a piss-poor adaptation of a universe that belongs to Tolkien, but nothing of what you and the castmates that you worked with, nothing of that project was Tolkien." Did it become a bit too much? Absolutely. It's taken airtime from the depth of who we are as artists, but it shows you where we are in a world and how much work we still have to do. Really. We're so ingrained in racism, apparently, just for simply pointing out facts about Tolkien's mythology and his legendarium, that we are suddenly back in the times when there was segregation and legalized racism. But yeah. I'm just grateful that it's us who are able to recalibrate, break from, reshape, and make history, he added. Adai Robinson then shared her thoughts. In order to not have such an impact, the pendulum has to swing. We are right in the middle of that process. We just want to normalize. Nothing wrong with that. We do have to discuss it because we are now in a space in society where need to now and again acknowledge exactly what is happening. And what is happening? People are stone cold racists that you seem to think that just because they pointed out that there were no such thing as a black elf in Lord of the Rings, that Tarmiriel, was literally described as pale as silver and pearls. Or as fair as silver and pearls. Meaning her skin was that white. Pointing out that Disa, or Princess Disa, wasn't even a real character. Princess Dis, however, was. I mean, pointing this stuff out isn't racist, folks. It's just pointing out facts that are inconvenient to sensitive whiners. Anyway, it has put us in a position where there will be a plaque. Or no, the level of distraction or aggression that was put toward us. What aggression was put towards you? People pointed out facts that you didn't like. It has been a painful journey to get there. Why? Because your feelings got hurt? Because you misinterpreted what people were saying? but it has elevated us. And it has put us in a position where there will be a plaque one day when the pendulum has swung where it needs to be. The pendulum already did, sweetie. It happened back in the 1960s. Whether you were alive to see it, I don't know. We will have badges upon the people who have fought the great fight in order to get a point to where there is such an eruption based solely on that. When casting announcement comes, she continued. Adi Robinson then asserted, while it's been a challenge, it has been a phenomenal moment to be a part of. Doors open and accessibility is available for absolutely everyone to feel safe within a franchise and a story of this scale. There was nothing wrong with identifying with a character just because, or there's nothing wrong with identifying with a character even though their skin color is different than yours. Or if you are only able to identify with a character because they're the same skin color as you, that makes you a racist. It's been really important and empowering. Tears have been shed, blood has been spilled, metaphorically, but we are here. Namvedi then stated, to answer your question, we still get a ton of controversy, but there has been a shift. You know, what there's been, it feels like there's been a sit down. She elaborated, it feels like we had to prove ourselves, almost. We had to defend ourselves, but it's undeniable that these people are in the position that they are in, deserve to be there, and should be there. There is nobody else that could have played the role. Really? Really? You think that? But whatever. I genuinely feel that there has been a shutdown, she added. I've even had apologies, which I love, even if it were just one person acknowledging that frame of mind was wrong. Was it? What frame of mind exactly are you talking about? First off, if there was any racist backlash, Variety did not provide any evidence of it, and neither have any of these actors. The official Rings of Power Twitter account posted a message condemning racism the cast was allegedly receiving, but again did not provide any evidence of it actually occurring. They wrote on Twitter, we cast of Rings of Power stand together in absolute solidarity against the relentless racisms, threats, harassment, and abuse from some of our castmates of color are being subjected to on a daily basis. We refuse to ignore or tolerate it. And I have been saying it for a while, folks. There hasn't been any proof. And yes, this article is also saying the same thing. Where is the proof of any of this racism? They continued, J.R.R. Tolkien created a world in which, by definition, is multicultural. Yes, elves, men, dwarves, hobbits, Maiar, Valar. I mean, yeah. A world in which free peoples from different races and cultures join together in fellowship to defeat the forces of evil. Rings of Power reflects that. No, Rings of Power reflects maybe that, but it also doesn't reflect what Tolkien wrote. Our world has never been all white. You're right. Tolkien, or your world has never been all white, and our world, in reality, has never been all white. That's kind of goes without saying. Fantasy has never been all white. Well, you're right. Middle Earth hasn't been all white, but all the characters that you had black people playing in this film were white. That's not racist to point that out, folks. Rings of Power reflects that. Or yada yada yada. Middle Earth is not all white. You're absolutely right. There were people who were darker complexions. They were called Haradrim. BIPOC belong in Middle Earth, and they are here to stay. You didn't make anything that had Middle Earth in it. So yeah, that's kind of weird to say. But in conclusion, they wrote, "Finally, all our love and fellowship go out to the fans supporting us, especially the fans of color, who are themselves being attacked simply for existing." Bullshit! In this fandom. That's absolute bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Fatal J, a freaking huge Tolkien fan, happens to be black. He hasn't been attacked at all, except by the actors and actresses and the production of this freaking product that they call Lord of the Rings. They've called him racist. They've called other people who are people of color who have called out their shit racist and bigoted. So yeah, you guys are such full of shit. Anyway, you are an integral. Oh my god, man. We see you, your bravery and endless creativity, your cosplays, fan cams, none of which anybody had a problem with, by the way. Fan art and insights make this community a richer place and remind us of our purpose. You are valid, you are loved, and you belong. No one ever said they didn't. You are an integral part of the Lord of the Rings family. Yeah, they are. But what you did isn't Lord of the Rings. Thanks for having our backs. Folks, again, even people of color pointed out their shit. What was occurring is that people were criticizing Rings of Power's race swapping and complete abandonment of Tolkien's work to push evil intersectional woke politics. One of the biggest critics of the show, YouTuber Just Some Guy, took Amazon to task over these points in a video he published back in March. In the video, he states to put Tolkien's stories, or the point of Tolkien's stories, is to be in English in design and effect. And Middle-earth reflects that in its cultures, languages, and appearances of its races. To change this, to remove the Englishness, or really the whiteness, from Tolkien's stories, is to undermine the very purpose of his works. It should be obvious that this will result in the backlash. But for some reason, after watching fans reject every attempt at playing politics with major franchises like Star Trek, Star Wars, Doctor Who, and MCU, Amazon decided to inject progressive politics into their show, along with playing loose and fast with the lore, and continued, and we're shocked when fans gave them one finger salute. So began the apologia, first an interview from Amazon, then by media outlets, and now people claiming to be super fans of Lord of the Rings and Lord of the Rings experts, he concluded. Criticizing a show for race swapping its characters is not racism, no matter how much Prime Video and these actors want it to be, as I said earlier in this video. No, the fault is with these actors and Prime Video. They chose to radically alter Tolkien's work in both how the characters look and appear, as well as in the substance of the storytelling. As Eric July noted in video upload from June 2021, let's talk about those actors and actresses real quick. These guys have absolutely no integrity, which is why you should not take them serious in their advocacy for definitely something on the subject matter of race. He added, they take the gigs, and I don't think people seem to understand that, or rather they lose sight of that. What do you make of the Rings of Power actors still doubling down on the false narratives that critics of the show and specifically is race swapped casting are racist? I think that they are stupid to think this, because it just shows how honestly regressive they really are. It seems that they actually want the world divided, because they continuously attack fans. They continuously call us racist, even though we're not racists. We just know what belongs in Tolkien's world. Apparently more than Amazon does. and more than these actors do. I have nothing against these actors. I'm just simply saying that there was no such thing as black elves. Tarmariel was very white. I mean, frick, you can almost call her albino without albinism. And Dís wasn't or didn't live during that time, I don't think. And they made her Dísa and beardless. So yeah, and get this, folks, when the show actually debuted and the episodes started coming in, guess what wasn't mentioned in the critiques, in the negative critiques even? Oh yeah, that's right. Identity politics. They actually said that the colored actors, or the people of color, were actually very good in their acting and whatnot, but the show itself was boring. So yeah, they continue to say that we're all racists for pointing out these inconvenient facts for them, and they bring no actual evidence of actual racism that they say is happening. Anyway, folks, that's going to be the video. You all know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. What do you think of this? Do you think that they're just going to keep whining, racism, racism, racism? Or do you actually think they might actually grow a brain and have a little bit of common sense to go with it? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section below, folks. This has been Orange Hat Reviews. Stay humble.